A pianist plans to play 7 pieces at a recital. And how many ways can she arrange these pieces in the program? So first, we must decide whether or not we have a single group of items that we're picking from or multiple groups of items that we're picking from. In this case, we only have a single group of items. We have 7 recital pieces to choose from. That tells me that we're either doing a permutation or a combination. Now, when we're doing a permutation or combination, that actually encompasses different kinds of methods as well. For instance, a permutation, if you have a certain number of objects, let's just say n, and you take all of those objects together, that is the same thing as n factorial. And n factorial means to take whatever the value n is, times 1 minus that, times 1 less than that, times 1 less than that, until you get down to 1. You multiply all those numbers together. So this is actually a good way of thinking of this problem. So certainly we can use the concepts of permutations and combinations to solve this. If we try and decide between a permutation and combination, it might not be entirely clear, because you might think that the order of the pieces doesn't matter and therefore go with a combination. But let me show you what happens when you do that. So if you have 7 recital pieces and you try and do a combination of all 7 of them, you end up with 1. And that's the case anytime you do n combinations of n objects. You always end up with 1. Well, clearly there's more than one way of picking the order of these recital pieces. So that should help hint to you that this is a permutation. But it may in fact be a better way of thinking it as a factorial. Because when you have a permutation, another way you can always consider them is using the fundamental counting principle. So we have 7 recital pieces. You have 7 to choose from initially. Once you pick that and you play it, you're not going to play it again, so that leaves 6 songs to choose from next. And then 5, and then 4, 3, 2, and 1. This is the same thing as 7 factorial, because we multiply all these together. So a better way to approach this is to use the factorial key in your calculator. So if you're following along, hit the math key, go over to PRB, down to the exclamation point. And the calculator knows to take 7 times 6 times 5 all the way down to 1. So we get 5,040. Now, had we used a permutation of 7 objects, taken 7 items at a time, we also would have gotten 5,040. So this rule that I stated here still holds. So just be careful in this kind of situation if you're using all of your items. If you're using all of your items, generally what you're running into is a factorial rather than an explicit permutation or combination.